Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. And keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are on Thursday, April 4th. We're going to take a look at Palantir today. So last video on Palantir, we spoke about catalysts and catalysts that may be incredibly helpful to keep Palantir well above that $20 level. Today, we had a catalyst that seems to be providing some support on that end as Palantir stock rises on cloud software deal with Oracle. So I'm not going to go deep into the news item, but just to say that obviously the market digested this really well. Just to sort of zoom in a little bit, yesterday it was struggling down here, dipped all the way down to 21.95 in the pre-market. If you trust that candle, I would be more comfortable saying that it dipped, down here into the 22s for a little bit, but rose up, couldn't hold or really sort of reach through that $23 level. And then just kind of trickled down into close, the mid to high 22s. And then when that news came in, we saw a big jump up the entire pre-market. And what did it do? It came up 7 cents shy of that 24.17 level that we have on the chart. And then at open, it sold off and found support for now, at least, right along that 23.10 level, almost to the penny. The low on this candle is 23.09. So I don't know how the rest of the day will play out, but these levels are holding up really well for the time being. Now, if I bring in the EMAs, we do see it's sort of at a point of truth right now. It's at a truth-telling point for a couple of reasons. One, it has these EMAs bunched up quite nicely, so maybe it's sort of consolidating for its next move, at least intraday move. I don't know which direction that will be, but it could be putting that in, and it could put that in for quite some time. So we'll see how that plays out. And also you have the 183 EMA down here providing some additional support. It just happened to kind of be right there when it was hitting our 23.10 support level anyway. So kind of an interesting sort of confluence of events in that way. There was something else that I had seen interesting on the order flow side of things, but we can't get it here on the desktop. Oh, maybe it's this one. Yeah, so here you see, even with the huge run up, total profited shares proportion at 38.25% right now, and 70% of the cost range is 20.40 to 25.56. So, pretty interesting that that's still the case even with the huge run up. So a lot of folks have followed this run up and have either averaged up or seemingly have new positions that are sort of distributed in that range. For now, at least, we do see today large-scale orders outpacing any large-scale sells. So we'll see if the buys continue to come in on the large-scale side of things. Now, on the Thinkorswim study, the daily, this is what we were looking at last time. We were saying this sort of looks like a VAMI setup, where it takes this kind of dolphin shape. It has a couple of fins here, and then it can tend to turn downward. But I said in that video, certainly, first of all, the setup could just fail. It could look like it, and just it doesn't happen that way. Or, Palantir being super catalyst prone could have a catalyst hop in, an analyst thing, a deal thing, a sales thing, and that could sort of, interrupt the pattern that it's forming. And this is that moment. This could be that. The question is it going to be enough of a catalyst, and what's it going to do with it? Right now, all that it's doing with it is killing a bit of the bearish momentum on the histogram and getting it to the mid-range of the channel. So it did push down to the lower bound of the channel and then pushed off of it, and this is getting it back to the mid-range. So the mid-range of the channel, always an interesting question, an interesting point in time where we say, what is it going to do at the mid-range of the channel? Is it going to pin itself to it? Is it going to find resistance? Is it going to be able to flip it to support? And if so, where does that lead us to? So it's at an interesting point on this setup for that reason. Now, if we zoom out on the daily here, we see we have all these levels, right? So the way that this is sorting out right now, as we saw when we zoomed in, 2310 to 2417, kind of pinning itself in between those levels. If it does get support over 2417, we have 2510 and then 2679 to the upside. If it happens to lose 2310, then we have 2121 to the downside, 2001, and then 1919. You can see a ton of other levels in both directions on here. So we'll see what this catalyst does for it, how long lasting it is, if it does sort of develop any additional patterns or indications in any way, and where we go from here. But we'll keep an eye on this one. It's been interesting for, well, maybe forever. All right, folks, I hope that your trading week has been going well, and as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.